Hello and good afternoon, Dr. Murray. My name is Juan Barrera, and I am a senior in an internship at the UHD iRadio. And I'm here to talk about my report or performance this last semester at the UHD iRadio. So I've done about 180 hours at UHD iRadio in terms of script writing, on-air time, with tabling, and any types of other projects I did outside of that, like some marketing projects I did. And essentially, so I'm just going to showcase right now some of the projects I did. I did a show called The Wire where I interviewed a bunch of Houston organizations and businesses and kind of put a spotlight on them. It's called The Wire. And then after that, I also did a show with an intern called Nanetsi, where it was called Today on Twitter, where me and her essentially talked about politics, trending topics of the day on Twitter that kind of exposed some news that isn't really out there for people to listen. And then finally, I did some marketing projects, and one of them was I did a flyer for the UHD iRadio, and I kind of designed it myself. Everything in there was my design. And essentially, that was one of my projects I did. But moving on to my experience at the UHD iRadio, I did plenty of things when I was on there. I started off thinking that I was going to be more of a marketing intern rather than an on-air talent intern. Regardless, I continued because it was experience and it would look good on my resume. So I continued on, and I learned plenty of things through my experience at UHD iRadio. I learned better communication skills and better responses, quick responses when I'm talking to someone in the moment, rather because the thing is, at UHD iRadio, we had script writing where we had things written on script, but when it came to like interviewing, when it came to certain times when what we do is on script writing, we put a topic on there, and yes, we make a script for the introduction, but we wouldn't read everything line for line. We'd have to go into more of our own discussion to make it more fluid, to make it more realistic. And essentially, we learned how to give quick giving goes in communication and how to respond efficiently and sound well spoken when we're on the radio, because that is our internship. We have to be professional. We have to sound good when we're talking out on the radio. And essentially, that's what it was. Most people think the radio is music and that's it, but in reality, the UHD iRadio was mostly just a bunch of shows. It'd be on 1 hour shows, 2 hour shows. It just depends on your shifts. At first, at the beginning of the semester, our manager Ricardo Enriquez gave us some slack, and he gave us 30 minutes of music and 30 minutes of talking. But as we got better and better, we didn't need that anymore. We just ended up making our shows 1 hour, and it was no problem. And it ended up being to the point where we just had to have topics, and we didn't even have to have scripts in order to talk. And it was something valuable and important that I learned at the radio, but it just became unnecessary later on, just because we got better well spoken and we sounded more professional as we got more practice. But that's essentially what I did at the radio. I was an on-air talent intern. I did 6 hours a week plus 6 hours of script writing a week, so it was about 12 hours per week. What I did, I had about 5 shows during the week, during the times that we were on air, which was about 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I did shows on Monday from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., on Tuesday from 1 to 2, Wednesday from 2 to 3, and Thursday from 2 to 3. And that's essentially what my schedule was. That's what I did for most of my part in the semester, but I also did other things like tabling, which I would go to communication events to represent the UHD iRadio organization, to bring more interns in, to get people interested, for people to listen, to make us grow. And I believe we did such a successful job, especially on my part with the marketing campaign that we did. We did much better photos, and we did a lot better graphics, in my part at least. And we grew like at least 300 followers on Instagram. We doubled our followers in a semester. Our hours on air also extended instead of from Monday to Thursday, it was from Monday to Friday, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So everything increased, everything got bigger, and I think a big part was us as interns, putting our time and effort into making the UHD iRadio something credible, something important, something big and fun, entertaining to watch. And essentially that's what I did throughout the semester. I did a lot of stuff in marketing and advertising, just because Ricardo Enriquez required us to do graphics a graphic image for our shows, and post them on Instagram so people would be aware that we're doing the specific show during the day. And I would do these professional looking graphics, and then Rico was impressed and he told me to do other things for him, like the flyer, like the official UHD iRadio logo I did for him as well. Within all the UHD guidelines, I did that for him. I also did I also fixed up their social media accounts a little bit. I did plenty of things throughout the year. I did just different types of things for them, and some of the projects that I did that I did were just mostly marketing for him, and they were outside things rather than inside things. It was honestly my favorite part of the internship. Yes, it was great to be on air, and it was good to have these conversations and be on the radio, but I'm more into the marketing aspect of it, so it was enjoyable that Rico gave me that opportunity to practice my marketing aspects and learn a little bit more about it. So that's essentially some of the things I learned throughout the semester at UHD iRadio. I learned better communication skills, to be quick on my feet when it came to communication. We give thoughtful and well-spoken give and goes. I practiced my marketing a little bit more. I learned how to script write. I learned how to process audio tech and equipment better. And I learned a lot. I learned how to do interview skills. That was a big part of the UHD iRadio, to create interviews with people within UHD and outside of UHD. So we practiced our interview skills as well. But essentially, that's what I did throughout the semester. I'm so grateful to have this opportunity. I enjoyed my time this semester at UHD iRadio, and I'm really excited to graduate this year and move on to better things. So thank you so much. This has been Juan Barrera speaking to Dr. Murray on the internship report for video performance of the semester. Thank you.